Hi everybody, welcome back to All Things Autism and More. My name is Patricia and I'm here with Irene and Claire, and today we are honored to have Hannah from Endiro Coffee with us. Hannah will speak a little more about herself, but she's here to tell us a bit about inclusion in the workspace. We are very passionate, as you know, about people with special needs being included in workspaces. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hannah, you're very, very welcome.
Thank you.
Please share with our audience, friends, about what you do, what Endiro is about, just so they can know from yourself what the space is about. For those 2% that don't know what Endiro is, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Endiro Coffee it's a company that is there to partner with other companies to end child vulnerability globally, and this is done through coffee. How it came about is when our founder, Gloria, she was working with a certain church organization, and they were reaching out to vulnerable children. And they tried to open a home for them, but they realized the children would sometimes go. So during that follow-up, she went to find out that these children actually have mothers, and these mothers are working in coffee farms. And they are paid peanuts. That's why they were ending up to be vulnerable. So it compelled her, she was touched by God, that she should start a coffee organization, but to end child vulnerability. And so through that, Endiro works with its space, its profits, its staff. So as this whole thing ends up. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's really good.
Oh wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To Endiro Coffee, just have my coffee.
I didn't know that
background of this.
backstory.
It's
Oh,
so
that's
amazing.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So every time you buy a coffee, you're changing a
Yes.
life somewhere.
Exactly. Actually, so what Endiro does, it goes and buys its coffee from the real coffee farmer,
so
and they
you
are
source
paid really good money. If you check around, if you do your research, they're really paid very good money compared to other people, so to other companies. And like coffee now, it is something new that now people are trying to embrace, especially in Uganda. But it's something that people can really use to start to earn income and all that.
So ladies, I've brought Hannah.
You brought Hannah.
No, I haven't really. But Hannah is here. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask her?
No, I think just to comment that we promised our viewers that we were going to bring on more organizations to partner with more companies to promote awareness, inclusion, and acceptance of people with special needs. And so Endiro is one of the companies that we've reached out to. So thank you both, Hannah and Patricia, for being able to come to this space. So how many branches do you have of Endiro Coffee at the moment? How many, shops or cafes are there?
Wow,
Yes.
There are over. First of all, we have shops and bars. So the shops are the bigger ones.
Yes.
So here in Kampala, we have like 3. That is in Nakasero.
Yes.
That's where actually that's where the inclusion part is. The people
Right.
with special needs. That's
Yes.
where they really are
Yes.
at. Then we have Kisementi. Then we also have in Moyenga. Then the bars are the smaller ones that you find at the petrol stations. Yes. However, we've expanded. We have in CP Falls. There is in Busia, Fort Potro. Yeah. There is also along Masaka. So, and also in Kenya, Mombasa, and in the US. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. That's very
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so I wanted us to get that clear, the branches you have. And then we go into your story. So you've helped these vulnerable families, the mothers, the children.
Yes.
But I think we famously know Endiro for starting that cafe in Nakasero
Yes.
and kitting it out differently. Could you tell us a bit about what drove that? Why did you decide that space, you were going to use it for that particular, what can I say, initiative regarding special needs that you took?
Yes. So we know that people who are vulnerable, people with disability, are really vulnerable. And there's a vicious circle of poverty that comes along being disabled. And not only that, it affects their employment. They don't want to be employed, their education, and it starts to be a vicious circle of poverty. And because Enduro is there to end child vulnerability, yeah, and you find that the mothers, the parents specifically, okay, mothers, because you find usually the mothers are left alone, yeah, and they stay with the children. So if they are given the support, yeah, they will be able. So that's how the deaf thing started, and it started at Nakasero, whereby yes, they were put on. They were, I mean, employed. The staff had to be trained on how to have that inclusivity part. However, as it went on, we want to see there's a broader part of neurodevelopmental disability, that is intellectual disabilities. So that's how in 2024 we started the Endiro Academy. Yeah, so the Endiro Academy has two arms. That is one arm, that is the Master Barista training, where we train people to be in the science of coffee, to be baristas, and it's mainly for the youth. Yes, yeah. Then we have the other arm, which is the Supportive Employment Fellowship. So the Supportive Employment Fellowship is for 20 plus adults of people with neurodevelopmental disabilities like Down syndrome, autism. However, we've started with mainly autism, and we find organizations support mainly young babies who have that kind of disabilities, but we haven't found organizations that support adults. Yeah, and you find these children grow up, but as they become adults, maybe the world there is not there to welcome them, and they're going to have families. Then you find the child vulnerability aspect again. Yes. So that's why the inclusivity came in. Like, you know what? These people need to be included into employment sphere. So a supportive employment fellowship here, we give them, it's a 4-month program whereby we take on someone. I've said we started with autism, and we had one successful fellow who was our pioneer and came in September. So during that 4-month period, it's just 4 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they come in, and here the person gets to be included into the space of Enduro, whereby they go into every sector of Enduro and learn. And here we specifically work on their strength, because much as they're disabled, they have strength. You know, the world there focuses on the weaknesses, but here we want to focus on the strength and develop it. And so they go in the different sectors of Enduro, like the different departments. Yes. So while there, they get to learn their strength, and they focus. They're like, usually at the end, they get to know, I think I love this. This is where I'm so much. Because some are hands-on, yeah. Some are maybe very organized and you know,
arrange things.
yes, you know, so that person maybe will be in that area of welcoming customers, organizing the serviettes, the napkins, organizing the tables and all that. But we have those who are hands-on, so maybe they can come into the barista training school, learn how to make coffee. They can be in the kitchen, learn how to cook and all that kind of thing, you know. So they go in all those different kinds of sectors, and our staff have been trained on how to welcome, and we have the social model has been developed whereby the building itself is set for people with disability in case we have. So at Endiro, it's really inclusive. We have an HR who is a lame person. We have the deaf and dumb who are in Nakasero. We have others of all sorts of kinds in our different shops, in our different, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Hannah. You've said quite a bit that I think we need to unpack. Yes. So that our viewers can get a better understanding, because I'm sure there are so many parents out there who are facing what you've said. The child gets to a certain stage, teenage, maybe 18, and they're stuck with the child. What is my child going to do? How will they be employed? How can they be valuable into society? And I think employment is one of the things that gives us identity. A lot of people identify themselves with their job. I'm a this, or I work here. You identify with a company. So I'd like us to unpack everything you've said. It sounds good, but really, if a parent is out there, I know Irene has a young adult, yes, and she must be very keen.
Very attentive.
Yes, very attentive. How how did you start the process? How do people apply for it? Or even before we get to the application, how did you train your staff? What are the key things you trained them on to be ready to work with these individuals? Is that a fair place to start? Patricia looked like where should we start?
Okay, so I'll help Hannah.
Yes.
So that she doesn't get overwhelmed. I'll help Hannah with how the application is done.
Yes.
So this supportive fellowship, it's a partnership between Endiro and Autism Awareness Uganda. So applications are made through Autism Awareness Uganda.
So what Patricia is not saying, she represents Autism Awareness Uganda, just as a reminder to our viewers that Patricia really represents Autism Awareness
Represent
Uganda.
Autism Awareness Uganda. And applications are made through Autism Awareness Uganda. And please do not be discouraged by the fact that it's called Autism Awareness Uganda and not apply if your child has Down syndrome or any other diversity, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So applications are made through that organization. We go through, should I call it, this, like any other recruitment process, we go through a sieving, so to speak. Now, it's not the usual recruitment processes where you're looking at IQ, ability, interviews and stuff. We are looking more at, are they of legal age? Because we had some scenarios where we had parents apply on behalf of their children, but their children were like 14 years old, 12 years old. We cannot take on minors. We are still under the laws of Uganda, so we have to take adults. That's why I was really happy when she mentioned that it's, for people who are 20 plus or 18 plus really, as long as you are of legal age. In the beginning, our very first fellow was successful, and it was really, really great. And it was also good because he was on the higher side of he was higher functioning. So that helped a lot. But it doesn't mean that we are closing off to only people of higher function. Because I know that when parents hear about such programs, they immediately shut down if their children or their young adults don't have a note of high functioning ability. We are trying to look at ways that we can include even those of the lower, function. And what I mean is, it's a very flexible program. Right now, for the higher functioning, yes, we do the 4 hours, 3 days a week. We are also considering having less days in the week for those who cannot handle 3 whole days in the week. We are looking at having maybe 2 hours instead of the 4 hours. We're looking at having them in the back, the back service places as opposed to front facing with the customer facing, yes. We are tailoring this entire program to the benefit of the person with the yes, with the neurodiversity. So it's not a, what do they call it, conventional program. It's not like any other employment you have seen. It is evolving as we go along, because we are also learning a lot in the process. It is, I mean, this is a huge opportunity for us as parents of children with special needs, but it's also such a wonderful thing that Endiro has done to take a chance on families, really, because it's a family effort. You know, in most cases, the applicant is one person, but you come in with your whole tribe. In most cases, but it doesn't mean that, of course, if you don't have, you can't come. So it's impacting, families. So it's something that we think is going to be quite grand, and I really want to shine a light on them for taking the risk, because it is a risk. I mean, you have to think about the business aspect of what they do, but they're taking on this, and they're like, no, they're actually true to what they say they are, by giving us this opportunity. So that's how the applications are made. That's how the selection process is done. And then we have, of course, there's different stages of selection. And then, of course, at the end is when we have engagement with Endiro. And then you go through an orientation process. Because we need to also get to know each other. The applicant has to get to know Endiro, and Endiro needs to get to know the applicant, or at that point they are really the fellow. That's why we call it a fellowship, because it's not, if we look at it as just employment, then you discount all these other aspects of it. And what we're really trying to do is to create a system that other companies can possibly look at or adopt, yes, for their employment spaces, and then say, okay, now if I also want to include people with special needs in my workspace, how do I go about it? We will now be able to say, okay, this is how we've done this is what you do, this is how long it takes, and then it becomes practical and, usable for other organizations. And really that's the hope. We're hoping that that's the end result of all of this, that it will have a ripple effect, and there'll be so many organizations that are open to having people with special needs in their spaces. So yes, I've answered more in the application, but at least, I think I wanted to really encourage applications and encourage other workspaces to also follow the example of Endiro. So that's about the application process.
Okay.
Really.
Thank you, Patricia. Irene?
Yeah, so Hannah, my question is for the first candidate, for lack of a better word.
Fellow.
Yeah, for the first fellow that you had, what was that experience like? First of all, between the family and then that fellow, what is it that stood out for you, and what do you think you would do better for the coming fellowships?
For our pioneer, one thing is that the good thing, he was on a higher spectrum, and the family was very supportive. I got to know that the fellow was coming from a good family, whereby there was no much effort that we had to be doing. The person knew exactly what they wanted, because like when we bring on the fellow, we're like, what is it that you would like to improve on and all that, and it's something that we keep asking over and over. We got to know that it stayed the same, like it was consistent, meaning like so the main thing I think is because of the family, and supportive family, were really into that made everything much easier. So like already the person being an adult, a young adult, there were already systems. So coming here in place, it was much easier. Yes, to much fit in, because still here at the workplaces, there are systems. Yeah, you need to follow, because when we bring them on, you really sign a contract like an employer.
Yes.
You know, and every employment, there are systems to follow and guidelines and all that. And from where I was coming from, it was much easier to fit in. Yes, I really liked that.
Okay, but was there, did you have any setbacks? Was there anything that set you back a bit?
I really don't I really don't recall any setbacks, because this person came every time. Yeah, I think it missed only once. Yeah, missed only once, but throughout the 4 months, every day, the person was yes, he showed up. Yeah,
And
he
in
showed
that
up.
duration, you said it's 4 months. It's a program
Yeah,
for
it's 4 months. Maybe the only thing is that, which I realized, is that when, you know, as I said, we welcome them into the space and they go into the different departments. Yeah, the department that wasn't interested in, you'll find, okay, the way they're doing the work isn't,
So who wasn't interested?
the fellow.
The fellow wasn't interested in
Yes,
that department
yes.
Very
because
clear about what he was
what he was
interested
interested
in.
was
in.
very
Well,
clear.
which is what is
Yes.
expected of
It's
individuals
actually
on the
helpful.
spectrum.
Exactly.
Because they're very clear on what
helpful.
they want and they
It's
don't
very
want. Yes, it's helpful.
yeah.
You know where to
So,
place them.
so you feel like in that 4 months period, 4 months is sufficient enough for you to be able to identify the strength of this.
Yes, because they come in a week 3 times. Yes, in a week they come three times.
for 4 hours.
Yes, for 4 hours. Yeah.
It's 12 hours.
So it's, yeah, which is really good. Yeah, we easily identify, and Endiro shares its profits, whereby we pay.
You
them-
give some stipend.
Yes,
Let's call it
some
that. Yes.
stipend. Yes, it's a
Yeah,
stipend.
not a really.
Yes, together with autism awareness.
Ah, wow,
Yes,
thank you.
which is something that
Thank you,
is very-
Patricia. We did not know that part. You're doing great things.
So we're not here to promote child labor.
Labor, yes,
Well,
it's
not
motivation.
But
child
it
labor,
is a small
any kind of.
stipend, really,
It's a small
for
stipend,
transport.
and also we are trying to foster the idea that this is a person who can contribute towards a business or to contribute towards society. That we don't have to, for lack of a better way to, how do I put it? No. Sometimes when you have a person with special needs in the family, you are afraid that they will just be on the receiving end for the rest of their lives.